Hey everybody, Shwayze here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a quick overview of the 2022 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Now we're going to be talking about the exterior, then showing you the interior, and then I'm going to discuss some of the specs and features you should know about if you're looking at picking up one of these bad boys. Now before we get started, I do want to give a huge thank you to the Rocky Mountain Automotive Press for giving us the opportunity to review all of these vehicles. Now unfortunately, I didn't get all of the vehicles in today's event on camera, but this was an awesome event, and I'm going to put their information down below so you guys can reach out to them if you have any questions. And also a huge thank you to the manufacturers and press vehicles that were out at today's event for giving us the opportunity to sit behind the wheel and really test drive these vehicles. Okay, so what is the TRD Pro? Well, obviously this is the new Toyota Tundra, and the TRD Pro is a trim level that you can purchase, which is essentially the most off-road oriented Tundra. Now, just in case you're wondering, this orange color, which looks really nice on this truck, is called Solar Octane, and I think the name actually matches what it looks like. But the TRD Pro is, like I said, the most off-road tuned version of the Tundra, and not that it really directly competes with the Raptor or the TRX, but it is kind of the off-road option when you're looking at picking up a Tundra and you don't want to look at the other competitors. Now, I do want to point out some things that you'll notice as I walk around the truck. You do have a lot of camo touches. So as you can see, it's kind of like a black camo finish to it on the front end, on the sides. So you can see over here on the fender flares, these have that same type of black camo to it. Really just kind of a stylistic choice, and I think it works pretty well for this vehicle. You can immediately tell this is a off-road ready truck, and I don't even know exactly what it is, but you can definitely tell on this particular trim. You do have real vents over here underneath the headlights, and the headlights look really good. I think the updated Tundra really has a nice look to it. I think it's much improved over the previous generation, and then you do have these, I believe these are fake. I'm not sure. We'll see when we open the hood, but they look fake. TRD Pro fake vents on top of the hood, but they look really nice, especially when you're actually in the driver's seat. You can see them, and they kind of give you just this menacing look to it. And as you can see, the body line kind of sculpts from those vents or fake vents, and it looks really nice. Now, coming over to the side, I do like how they chose to black out this A-pillar. That way it looks like the windshield just kind of wraps around on the side of the truck. Pretty much your standard Tundra, and then the same time you have the same fender flares in the back that have that black camo finish. And then coming out to the back end, these are your traditional Tundra taillights, and then you have more black camo over here on the tailgate as well. Now, I will point out that this does have a soft open, but it doesn't have a closing mechanism, so you can't push a button and it'll close like you see in some other competitors, although this tailgate has got to be one of the lightest I felt in any pickup truck. Back here you do have some tie-down functionality, which is adjustable. That's really nice to see. And then you do have a 120 volt adapter, so you can just plug in just your regular household appliances and maybe play music or charge devices however you see fit. Now you do have TRD Pro stamped over here on the tailgate, and then there is this neat party trick over here where if your hands are full and for some reason you don't want to go to the back, you can push this button and then the tailgate will fall. So that is a nice feature. You do have your exhaust pipes coming out over here on the side. They look really nice in that black color as well. So aside from appearance, what exactly does the TRD Pro option include? Well, as you can see, it does come with these 18-inch BBS wheels and Falken Wildtrak all-terrain tires. So these should hold up a little bit better than just your standard tires on the Tundra. And then you also have Fox suspension shocks that add about 1.1 inches of lift compared to the regular Tundra. So as you can see, they're back there. They're going to provide a little bit better support when you're off-roading. So an off-road tuned suspension is one of the advantages of getting the TRD Pro, but there's more to it than just that. Coming to the front, because this vehicle is so wide, it's wider than the standard Tundra, they did have to add in these orange marker lights on the front, and you'll see actually there's additional lights on the back on the tailgate. One thing to point out is this does come standard with an integrated light bar at the front, and I'll show you how to turn that on the inside, but overall just an aggressive look to the front with that light bar, which is nice to have when you're taking it off-roading at night. Okay, now real quick before we jump inside, let's talk about the engine and the output, because that's an important thing to consider when you're talking about this price range, which I'll talk about in just a minute as well. So this vehicle comes with the Toyota Tundra's twin turbo V6 hybrid, and that produces 437 187 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. So it's an interesting system because the electric motor works parallel to this gas engine, and the electric motor itself produces 48 horsepower. So combined, you have these two powertrains working in unison, in tandem, to provide the horsepower figures that I just quoted. And driving this on the road, it is pretty peppy at the lower range. So when you're just accelerating off the line, it does kind of pull you back into the seat. Depending on where you are in the RPM range, though, you may feel a little bit of a lag because of that turbo setup, but that's kind of normal. It is overall a very quick truck. It moves quicker than what you would expect out of a much larger displacement V8 that doesn't have forced induction. So this is a very nice engine, and the benefit to being a hybrid is, of course, you can get better gas mileage. So Toyota says you can get 18 in the city and 20 on the highway for a combined 19 out of this full-size half-ton pickup truck. Now, in case you are wondering, all of that power is sent to all four wheels using a 10-speed automatic transmission. Okay, now another thing you may be asking yourself is, can you get this in any other configuration? And the answer is no. You can only get this with the short 5.5-foot bed and the 4-door Crew Max configuration. And honestly, for off-roading, you do want a little bit of a shorter bed, so that makes sense. Now let's jump inside and let's talk about the interior, because it's pretty unique on this pickup truck. So starting off with the door, again, really nice use of materials is what I'm noticing on Toyota products. They're really stepping it up, and I think this truck is no exception to that. You do have soft touch leather wrap material up here. You've got leather over here. It's a little bit on the tougher side, but it is still leather wrapped. You have nice red stitching, contrast stitching on all these pieces. And then coming down here, obviously this is hard touch plastic, but that's common on pickup trucks. And then you've got just a little storage pocket over here, a nice kind of almost like a fake kind of aluminum material, carbon fiber material, but it's just a textured material on the door panel. And then you have your window switches. Coming over into the seat, a little bit more of that camo. As you can tell, it's kind of got a camo look to it. Looks really nice in these leather seats. Says TRD Pro, and you've got more contrast stitching going all over the seat. Now, jumping to the dashboard, you do have a lot of these switches that control your light bar. This is what I was talking about earlier, as well as your heated steering wheel and then the lighting inside of the truck bed. Coming up here, you got this giant vent, and now let's climb inside and show you what it looks like. And this has a really nice premium leather wrapped steering wheel with this little orange stripe over here to indicate what the top of the wheel is. This is hard touch plastic, but that's common amongst pickup trucks. And then this is really what is most notable about this vehicle, and that is this 14-inch infotainment screen. So you actually have dual screens here. You've got a 12.3-inch all digital display, which has this really cool graphic. And also, I will note, this is an orange TRD start button. That's pretty cool. But you got this all digital display, and then you've got this gigantic 14-inch. And I've shown this on different Toyota and Lexus products. They've really stepped it up in terms of their software. Really easy to use, really quick. I just like the size of it. I mean, honestly, everything in this pickup truck is just like extra large. For whatever reason, it's just massive. So as you can see, these switches over here that control your climate control, they're just huge toggle switches, and they really feel nice in the hands. Like when you're activating these switches, they really do feel like they're sturdy, they're meant to last. And same with even this volume knob. It's got this kind of fake screw look to it on the outside. Really nice texture there. Everything's just kind of durable and built well. I mean, even talking about the door, as you can see, there's a button here to control sliding the mirrors, excuse me, in and out. And even this button, to be honest, has like a solid click to it. I mean, everything in this interior, including the buttons on the steering wheel, including these buttons over here, and even some of the other items, they're just so durable. Like, they don't feel luxurious by any means, but you could tell that they're just gonna last a very long time. It's very sturdy, very truck-like. And I feel like a lot of trucks are going more luxurious, and this one is kind of staying more sturdy, and I like that. I appreciate that. You've got these Toyota raised up off of the dashboard, nice leather material here. This is all leather over here underneath the climate control settings. Now, jumping down, you have your heated and ventilated seats. Like I said, you do have a heated steering wheel. Over on the left-hand side is where your controls are. Coming down here, this is kind of the other options for your trailering. This is your 360 camera, which is absolutely amazing. Now, other reviewers have mentioned how you can't really adjust this rotating 3D image for whatever reason. This is how Toyota decided to do it, but you can, yeah, change angles. It's really quite odd, but when you do put this vehicle in reverse, you do have a giant 360 camera, lots of different angles. I mean, this one probably has some of the most I've seen, pretty much on par with the GMC Sierra. This is a fantastic system. I'm really glad that Toyota has stepped it up in terms of its camera technology. But coming further down, your traction control off, your hazards, this is your rear locker, and then just 2 blank switches, so not sure what those are for. You also have some blank switches over here on the left-hand side, not sure what those are either. Coming down lower, you again have more of that ruggedness. This is a really big open chamber over here. I kind of wish they had some way of closing this off, but I don't see really a way for this to shut. But this is where your wireless charger is. This is just a large bin. Again, you have a durable shifter that's really easy to use. And then you've got your parking brake over here. Now coming further back, these are your off-road controls, your 4 high, 4 low, and the 2 high. And then these are your drive modes that actually can be controlled over here. Now if you change it into MTS mode, that's kind of Toyota's off-road mode, you'll open up a different set of menus for you to be able to use off-road. So keep that in mind. Again, just a very durable knob over here. Everything here is just sturdy. More cup holders, and then this is like a little bin that you can actually slide back, and then there's a little compartment over here to open. If you want to open up this entire console, you can open this up and then reach into it, or you can open up this giant console over here, and it is massive, as you'd expect on pickup trucks. You also have some additional functionality with this thing where you can actually place it in different angles to be able to keep small items from rolling around. You do have 2 USB ports in here, which is nice, and a coin holder. And now closing this up. Now, one more thing I wanted to mention before we move to the back seats is this giant panoramic moonroof. I really like that Toyota added this to this pickup truck. I think any pickup truck that comes with this really just goes up a scale in my book, because not every truck is still doing these, and I think they're fantastic on pickup trucks. And this one does actually open, which is really impressive as well, but it is quite warm outside. It's about 85 degrees, so we're gonna close that up. Now, one more thing I wanna talk about is you do have controls to be able to open that entire back window. This is not the first for the TRD Pro. Tundra has had this for a while. Really nice though. I prefer this type of setup rather than just the small window that opens up. And Toyota, I don't know if they have a patent on it, but they seem to be the only ones that are doing it. So now let's jump to the back seats and show you all the cool features of the second row. Okay, jumping back here, they did cut costs just a little bit. This is a hard touch plastic up here, but you still have leather wrapped material over here with red stitching. Again, this where your elbow is going to be sitting is soft touch, and again, some of that same cool material, the textured material. You've got your speaker grill here. One thing I forgot to mention, this vehicle does come with a 12-speaker JBL audio system, so really nice to see that. That should sound very nice. Again, some more of that camo textured interior. Really like that red stitching. They didn't spare any expense on the second row when it comes to that. You do have a center armrest, really soft and padded, with 2 cup holders, and then coming over you have 2 more cup holders and rear air vents, and then a little cubby back here along with some charging ports as well, including a household outlet. I'm really glad they threw that in there because I haven't seen it on every single pickup truck. This one does come with pretty cool floor mats, like you have a tread pattern over here. And then the one thing I will knock this vehicle on is you don't really have any under-seat storage. This is actually a fuse box, and it just says Tundra over there. I do wish, like other pickup trucks, this would have some under-seat storage, but the nice thing is you can pull on the strap, open this up, and you do have a little bit of space behind the second row. This is your subwoofer, of course, but overall a really nice place to sit. You do have, as you would expect from a full-size pickup truck, tons of leg room, plenty of headroom. So overall, a very comfortable place to sit, especially with that giant panoramic moonroof. One thing I will complain about is you don't have any heated seats here in the second row like you'd find on some other competitors. Now, one big advantage of this Tundra over some of its other off-road competitors is this thing still has a towing capacity of over 11,000 pounds, which is pretty impressive because most of the time when you put on off-road suspension, you do sacrifice towing capacity. And then payload, in case you are wondering for this specific trim, as per the sticker, it looks like the payload is 1,355 pounds. So keep that in mind if you're looking at the TRD Pro. Now, if you're wanting to go to your local dealership and pick one up, they start at just around $67,000, which I think is pretty reasonable for the off-road trim of the Tundra. It's pretty competitive in what you get, along with the trail control and the Fox shocks and the BBS wheels and the other exterior touches that make this look more off-road. This particular vehicle has a few extra options, not much though. This one's just right around $69,000. Well, there you have it, folks. That was your quick overview of the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Overall, a really fantastic truck. Now, the question is it better than a Raptor or TRX? Well, I'll let you decide, because you do sacrifice a little bit in horsepower, but you're likely going to get much better fuel economy and maybe something a little bit more practical. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If this is your first time stopping by, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all of the weekly videos. And as always, everybody, I hope you stay schwazy, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. I'm going to go a little bit more off-roading.